really like that. The fact that even in marriages, people don't realize that, the most effective film you could do in the first year.
Well, hello, folks. I like to listen to different perspectives. So people might have a name for a school like the Austrian School of Whatnot or the Chicago School of Thus and Such, or I identify as a neo-reactionary plus, or I'm a ultra-conservative or neo-conservative, or the new right, or I'm a progressive, I'm an ultra progressive. I don't know. Just pick your names, schools of thought about society, politics, economics, and then people go on in their blogs and on podcasts and in op-eds and articles, making all kinds of fallacious characterizations, mischaracterizations of people on the other side. So they overgeneralize, they straw man a lot, they exclude the middle. Uh, you know, it's just, it's silly. And they don't really say much about anything that they're talking about. It's more or less just, this is the difference between you and me.
There can't be that much difference between people and the way they live. We all eat, talk, drink, laugh, wear clothes.
Well, now look.
If you're saying all this because you don't want to tell me the truth, because you're hiding something from me, then maybe I can understand.
I'm not hiding anything. It's just that
It doesn't make sense. What's so different about it here from over there, or any place you go that one person couldn't live in both places just as easily?
Some people can. Now, if you just let me
What is
explain
it but
to
traveling from one place to another taking pictures? This is like being a tourist on an endless vacation.
Okay, now that's your opinion. You're entitled to it. Now let me give you my
It's
side.
ridiculous to say that it can only be done by a special private little group of anointed people.
I made a simple statement. A true statement, but I can back it up if you just shut up for a minute.
But if your opinion is as rude as your manner, I don't think I care to hear it.
Oh, come on, now simmer down.
I can't fit in here. You can't fit in there. I mean, according to you, people should be born, live, and die on the same spot.
Shut up! Did you ever eat fish heads and rice?
And you can't get it because you're incapable of holding two models of thought in your head. But all sides say that. The other side is stupid, and I'm really ultra smart. My people are great. And it masks a whole bunch of bizarre values and pathologies. I mean, nature nurture stuff. Racism comes into it. It doesn't always have to, but people talk about events as if they are cut out caricatures from the media and not part of real life. And causal relationships, right? I mean, if they talk about IQ a lot and people argue about that. So how is this particular group of Asian people, what are they, Indonesian, Malaysian, are they Han Chinese, are they Vietnamese, are they Thai, Japanese, South Korean, North Korean, are they Pakistani, Indian, whatever. So some Asian people, some cohort, they're never really cohort, they're never really specific, have these certain characteristics. It's like just genetic, it's just the way they're built, and we should just deal with the reality. And there's always an implication that that's great for them, but this is the difference between you and me. See, our group is different. And we're better or not, but we're unique, and we should stick together. And it goes on and on like that on every level. I always wish people would, if they're interested in political philosophy, audit a political philosophy course from some university. There are great teachers out there. And if you don't have the time or inclination or the desire to read 3 or 4 books on a subject, Milton Friedman, why don't you read a biography on that guy? How's he different from Keynes and so on? Why not, What is utilitarianism? What different schools of utilitarianism are there? You know, you can find a way to find out from primary sources, and then you can triangulate using all kinds of tools, shallow ones like Wikipedia and deeper ones like the Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy, or so many other resources. I have all kinds of links at globehackers.com or cosbalon.eu. And you can look through these things, triangulate, think about it. For people who get all of their information from MSNBC or Fox News or CNN or the equivalents, and erroneously think they're well informed and are stubborn about not listening to anything else, right? I mean, everybody else is an idiot to them. The experts who are highly paid in most cases on these shows, where they only talk about something for a couple of minutes, and they're really presenting an agenda, a commercial agenda, propaganda, basically. And you couldn't be bothered to read a book on the subject, on Afghanistan or the Iraq conflict with the United States, or terrorism in general, or any kind of psychology or public health, or, you just couldn't be bothered. But you feel you're totally well informed because you watch a TV show and you think Rachel Maddow always tells the truth. And if some other journalist comes up with some information that's there, documented from various sources right in your face, that disproves a theory or hypothesis that they were pushing for political reasons for a long time, you're like, no, not true. Those people are idiots. Rachel's my girl, But everybody does this. I keep listening to, what is her name again? Sorry, I'll look at it. I was just earlier. It's called the Subversive Podcast. And she's conservative in Romania, a nice lady. Kakucha, I think is how you pronounce her last name. But anyway, I listen to it because she talks to all the people on the right that are kind of neo-smarty pants right-wing folks. And of course, they portray everybody who's not like them as just fanatically insane or blind, caught up in the progressive propaganda, that they suckled from their mother's body the day they were born and don't know how to get out of, and mention things in the past as if the past was this romantic lark of perfection. We forgot how we did it back in the day when somebody went against the rules and we cut their head off and put it on a stake on the main boulevard in front of the castle to show people that behavior wouldn't be tolerated. Well, things were different back then, were they not? And the law wasn't for everyone, was it? The law was quite different for courtiers and barons and so on, and kings and their people and merchants and whatnot, depending on what period of history you're talking about. And most of the people were illiterate up until the mid 20th century. All over the world, literacy was low. And back then, there wasn't any literacy. I mean, people were illiterate. So what could they do but go along with whatever the bosses or the elites in their context were telling them? So now we're all slaves to a new kind of elite people. And yet people tend to want certain things and vote for certain things and continue to struggle for certain things. And I'm talking about goods and services that should be part of the commons. You may not think so, but people want health care. They want a certain amount of freedom and autonomy. I don't know the best model for society, but at least when you're characterizing these things, whether they're philosophical or sociological or psychological or medical or historical or whatever, you could make an effort to reference people who have worked on these questions for decades and characterize their efforts and their ideas properly. And then if you have something to say, go ahead. Everybody's parrots. So you're just parroting your tribe. You're slavishly following a fashion, but you don't think so, right? It's those other people that do that, not you. You're above and beyond that.
喜悦, and I am 9 years old. So my question is, how does the dog can hear the dog whistle, but we cannot?
When I think about this and encounter it over and over again across the whole spectrum of beliefs and ideas and politics, I feel like, human beings aren't going to make it. We're never going to be able to imagine a more efficient, healthier way to manage resources on our planet, which has limited resources, to protect life, to protect each other, to care, to treat human beings like human beings without having to have all of the ideological and religious and philosophical and all these differences that basically are just co-opted by people who want way too much power and control. And then they lord over us with their capacity to do so, with their tools and armies and propaganda arms and everything, their secret police and their CIA. And we feel hopeless, powerless, and helpless and diminished by it, alienated. And so we start to hate people. Well, I was bullied when I was young and I hate people, but I pretend like I don't hate people. But if I could kill everyone on earth, this type of thinking. It's sad, it's grotesque, it's sick. You think maybe, it's okay, I'm going to live to be 75, 80, the median age of a guy in my situation, and I can eat every day and I have a roof over my head, everything's great, I can entertain myself and be entertained. So nothing's wrong, but, things are wrong if really, really brilliant experts who have been dealing with various specific things for decades in the sciences and also in the humanities, and they can't see a way out. It's the definition of insanity again and again and again, this horrible Groundhog Day where you're dealing with the same things in different ways, obviously, because of different tools and because people are literate now and so on. But for thousands of years, can't sort it out. And the biomass on the planet, it's just all about our stuff. And maybe we'll get a replicator and then we'll make cheeseburgers out of our replicator. Is that going to rewild the planet or bring back extinct species? Hell no, because they're gone. We'll just continue to make garbage that we like, and pretty soon it'll be the algorithms and the AIs making the garbage that they think we like because we input a whole bunch of garbage into the cloud.
Motherfuckers floating around this country. Dumb-ass motherfuckers, Yeah. Now, obviously, that doesn't include this audience. I understand that. You seem intelligent and perceptive, but the rest of them, holy jumping fucking shitballs. Dumber than a second coat of paint. And this ain't just ranting and raving. This ain't just blowing off steam. I got a little evidence to support my claim. It just seems to me, that only a really low IQ population could have taken this beautiful continent, this magnificent American landscape that we inherited. Well, actually, we stole it from the Mexicans and the Indians, but Hey, it was nice when we stole it. It looked pretty good. It was pristine. Paradise. Have you seen it lately? Have you taken a good look at it lately? It's fucking embarrassing. Only a nation of unenlightened half-wits could have taken this beautiful place and turned it into what it is today, a shopping mall.
So it's garbage in, garbage out, a fire hose of crap, of sewage. Yeah, okay, life's not that bad. We shouldn't think about these heavy problems because we can't figure it out. There's nothing I can do. So why bother, right? I mean, go for the dopamine. Go for the happy pills. And,
Mile after mile of mall after mall. Many, many malls, major malls and mini malls. They put the mini malls in between the major malls. And in between the mini malls, they put the mini marts. And in between the mini marts, you got the car lots, gas stations, muffler shops, laundromats, cheap hotels, fast food joints, strip clubs, and dirty bookstores. America the Beautiful, one big transcontinental commercial cesspool. And how do the people feel about all this? How do the people feel about living in a coast-to-coast shopping mall? Well, they think it's just fucking dandy.
make yourself feel like a big shot any way you can. Get some status. Get over on people. Beat people up. Destroy people because you actually hate them, because you hate yourself. You can't stand the powerlessness and the confusion. If anyone looks into anything in depth, sincerely, with intellectual honesty and humility, they're going to find out they don't know much about anything. And even if you had been a nuclear physicist your whole life, you're not going to have the delusion that you know a whole lot about nuclear physics. You're going to know beyond a shadow of a doubt that you know a lot more about physics than the butcher or the taxi cab driver or the English teacher. But you know what there is to learn and the problems that are outstanding and the controversies that still exist in your field and on and on and on. And you're not going to think you're that damn smart. So it's sad. I don't think we're going to get there. And now, of course, we can go to any bubble we want and just have our thinking reinforced and reinforced and reinforced by very clever people with good oratorical skills, good writing skills, storytelling skills, propaganda and marketing skills, and they can just make everything sound so absolutely true that we won't even bother to honestly question how they're thinking about things, their heuristics, their faulty, messy logic, their biases, and so on and so forth, their prejudices, their anger, all the things motivating them, whether it's money or other things. How do we re-engineer incentives so we can have a healthy environment, ecosystem, and society, and so on? And the money is going to go to where it brings you more money. That's what they're going to do when governments and people invest in things. They're going to go for the returns, right?
When you lost your mind, you lost everything.
When you gave us power of attorney, we did what was best for everyone.
I bought this house at a public auction. I couldn't stand the thought of strangers living here. I've been living in garbage with rats for a month, and now I have nothing! Nothing! Not even my house! But you're not getting these! No, they're by Cellini. I bought them from the Vatican. I got a good price. My Van Gogh! Come on, Dr. Gachet. We're leaving. My wine! Huh? Chateau Lafite! Rodin! My tapestry. I'm not leaving without my rape of the Sabine women.
All right, now, Goddard, stop. Please, stop. This is pathetic.
Get out of my way.
Fine, fine.
Yeah, and we'll be back for the rest later.
No.
Hey, let go.
Watch out.
Hey,
Let go. Let go. No. No.
This is pathetic, isn't it?
Very.
And we can't imagine anything without this particular kind of currency that we have, this particular kind of economy that we have. We can't even define terms, even when terms are pretty well defined. And when you can go back etymologically, way back in time, and trace meaning through various cultural contexts over time, and have a pretty good idea of what you're talking about, even that gets just completely confused and messed up, while people are just deconstructing and reconstructing everything to suit their egotistical purposes and their tragic sensitivities and vulnerabilities, and the anger that stems from that, never having dealt with it in their lives, never having to think about it, never really examining their situation themselves, where they got their ideas, anything like that. I mean, there's just no time for it. It's not valued. And even if we do go to therapists or self-help or, motivational seminars, whatever,
Think much of me, but what if every single one of your ill-informed, unsophisticated opinions about me were wrong?
So it's January 1st, okay? We're back, we're relaxing. We go to watch a movie that night, January 1st, 2018. We watch this movie called Molly's Game, okay? And I leave. I am so fascinated by this story that I said, I gotta find out who this girl is. So I go on Twitter, I find her, I tweet her at 10:44 p.m. I get a message 2 days later, we go back and forth, and here we are sitting down with Molly in Colorado. Thank you for taking the time and visiting with us.
Thank you for coming to Colorado.
It's in one ear out the other, because it really has nothing to do with us as individuals or us as members of a community, of a family, of a society. Well, it's all very extreme, a lot of scapegoating, a lot of really fallacious logic, stated very emphatically as if everybody knows what they're talking about. And I just think if we slowed down a bit and really examined what we know and understand, we would be a little more humble about it and recognize that we got a lot of work to do. And hopefully we would learn in time that doing that work on ourselves, within our communities, doing the work to learn about a subject in a deeper, more profound way, we'd find that it's fun and interesting and exciting and energizing and good for us.
It makes you suffer. You care. So, if you run out a little scheme in the world, a little action pattern, you don't get what you want. Especially if you're 2 years old, you burst into tears and cry. And why is that? It's because you don't know where you are, and you don't know what you're doing. It's like time for some negative emotion. It indicates that you're wrong. And that's terrible in some sense, because it almost always means that to learn requires pain. Now, I don't believe that exactly, because people are curious, and to go out and be curious and to learn new things can be very exciting.
And we consider it like exercise, right? Exercise solves so many problems for people, for their health and their mental health, physical and mental health, just like eating decent food if you can. I mean, there are so many simple solutions, and I think exercising your mind in an honest, humble way, doing a little bit more work, and not assuming you know it all because you watch Fox News or something, or listen to 2 or 3 neo-reactionary podcasts or communist podcasts. I mean, whenever anybody ever talks about any of this stuff, they really don't know anything about it. They don't know the context of what they're talking about, where it arose from, how it developed, how it changed over time, what it really means. Okay, so I think you get my drift. Have a nice weekend. Bulliam tea.
Ziggity bing bong boom, hot two. Hot two, ziggity bing bong boom, hot two. Hot two, ziggity bing bong boom, hot two. Hot two, ziggity bing bong boom, hot two.
Hot two, ziggity bing bong boom, hot two. Hot two, ziggity bing bong boom, hot two. Hot two, ziggity bing bong boom, hot two. Hot two, ziggity bing bong boom, hot two. Hot two, ziggity bing bong boom, hot two. Hot two, ziggity bing bong boom, hot two. Hot two, ziggity bing bong boom, hot two.